of Beto here at UTA. So, I want y'all to do a chant, okay? So, when I say rock the, you guys say vote, alright? Rock the vote! Rock the vote! When I say vote for, you say vote for! Vote for! Rock the vote! Oh, I got you. Rock the vote for! Rock the vote for! Alright. So, we wanted to thank some special guests for coming out tonight. So, we want to thank Chris Turner, who's a Texas state rep. We want to thank Sandra A. Brown, who's actually the mayor pro tem. What? It's crazy. We want to thank Alyssa Simmons, who's actually the Tarrant County Commissioner. We want to thank Samson Dewey, who's the president of Student Group. And now we're going to have Sophia Rodriguez.
It's finally time. It's time for a new leader in this state. He's here. The man, the myth, the legend, the next governor of Texas.
UTA, how are we feeling today? Listen, when we were back here 4 years ago on this campus many times, you answered the call, you got registered to vote, you talked to your classmates, your friends, your family members, you got them out as well. We helped Chris in Harris County, 17 black women elected to judicial positions in that community. And we got very, very close at the top of the ticket. But I'm here to tell you something today. Because of the way in which you've come out and signed up and committed yourself to talking to friends, to those who live in your dorms, to the very people targeted for voter suppression and voter intimidation, because of the young people here at UTA, we are going to win this election on the night of November 8th. We're going to win it because we are fighting for every woman to make her own decisions about her own body, her own future, her own health care. We're going to win because we prioritize the lives of our children over the interests of the NRA or any gun lobby or special interest group in this state. We're going to win because we have the backs of school teachers, educators, librarians, counselors. We're going to pay them enough so they don't have to work a second job. We're going to listen to them when they tell us that they need time to connect with those kids in the classroom, and we will cancel the STAR test in the state of Texas going forward. We're going to work together, Chris and I, on smart, bipartisan, common sense solutions, expanding Medicaid so we're no longer dead last in the ability to see a doctor, so you can go to a mental health care provider, so you can treat your diabetes. We're going to work with Republicans and Democrats to legalize marijuana right here in the state of Texas. And because we know that Texans of all races and ethnicities use marijuana at the same rate, but disproportionately, it is black and brown Texans who are stopped and frisked and arrested and incarcerated and convicted. We are going to expunge the arrest records for anyone who has served time for marijuana possession in the state of Texas. And here's this. I know that we're going to win because we believe in this democracy, in the right to vote, in ensuring that whether you're a Republican, waving one of those flags back there with a MAGA hat on, or a Democrat, you're able to freely and fairly choose those who will serve you in positions of public trust. In this state, our governor, Greg Abbott, and the Republican majority tried to stop you from being able to vote in this next election. And Chris Turner and his colleagues literally walked off the floor of the House to deprive them of a quorum to try to save this democracy when it was under attack. These House Democrats were willing to put their careers on the line, get arrested in the process. Because they believe in this democracy. So let me tell you this. Though we are the most voter suppressed and voter intimidated state in the Union, 750 polling places have closed down since Greg Abbott has become governor, most of them located in the fastest growing black and brown neighborhoods in the state of Texas. Though we have a system today where members of Congress choose their voters instead of the other way around, we have an answer to this. What if you sign up, volunteer with us, get on the doors of those who become the targets of this suppression, and we make them the margin of victory when we win this thing on election night? How about it? And then when we win, we replace gerrymandering with citizen-led redistricting commissions. We make sure that you can register to vote online or when you turn 18, or same-day registration when you want to vote. And here is one that I would love to work with Representative Turner on. What if we replace Confederate Heroes Day with Election Day as a state holiday in the state of Texas? For all those reasons, I know that we're going to win. But here's another one for you if you needed it. We also have the good fortune of running against the worst governor in American history, Greg Abbott. Let me give this to you by the numbers. 1 month ago, the most extreme abortion ban in the country, signed by Greg Abbott, went into effect. Total ban that begins at conception, no exception for rape, no exception for incest. It is taking place in a state that has one of the worst rates of maternal mortality in the developed world, 3 times as deadly for black women in the state of Texas. Mark my words, his extremism and failure will kill the women of this state. Here's what we do. Here's what we do. We make sure that first and foremost, we win this election by talking to every person in our lives. No me importa if they're Democrats, independents, Republicans. We bring them in. We remind them that this election is about your ability to make your own decisions about your own body, and we get them out there to the polls. And lest anybody think that this is impossible, not only can we do this, we've done bigger things against longer odds before. 50 years ago, abortion was just as illegal in the state of Texas as it is today, but no one came from outside of the state to ride to the rescue of Texas women. It was Texas women like Jane Roe, like Linda Coffey, who still lives here in Dallas nearby. It was Texas women like Sarah Weddington, who prevailed upon an all-male United States Supreme Court and won the protection for the right to privacy, to make very personal, often painful decisions on your own, free of government intervention. Here's what I think. If Texas women won that 50 years ago, Texas women will win it back today in 2022. Let's go, Texas women. Here's another number for you. 18 weeks. That's how long it's been since 19 children and their 2 extraordinary teachers were taken from us. Absolutely defenseless against somebody carrying a weapon originally designed for war, that's able to kill an enemy soldier at 500 yards and penetrate a steel helmet to take him down dead. Those kids were 5 feet away from that gunman and had nothing on their head but a baseball cap like this one. In fact, Their parents were only able to identify their bodies by the shoes that they were wearing on that day in that school. But not only were those kids defenseless against that gunman, those kids were defenseless against this governor who will not lift a finger to prevent any of our children, your brothers and sisters, from meeting the same fate as those kids in Uvalde because of Greg Abbott. And not just his inaction, but ignoring police and signing permitless carry into law that allows anyone, including those who should never have a firearm, to carry them on our streets without a background check, without vetting or any training whatsoever. Gun violence is now the leading cause of death for children and teenagers in our communities today. More cops have been gunned down in Texas than any other state. And listen, though we know the victims in Uvalde and Sutherland Springs and Santa Fe High School and Midland, Odessa, and certainly in El Paso, all 23 of them, I know this for sure. Right in this community, throughout this state, in fact, so many are killed with guns. It has become so numbingly common. Their names never make the newspaper. Their faces are never on the news. And it disproportionately, again, affects communities of color right here in the state of Texas. So here's what we do. We win this election. We raise the minimum age of purchase to 21. We have a red flag law on the book. We have universal background checks. We defend the Second Amendment, but we protect the lives of our families and our kids in the process. 19 months ago, the guy in power, in the highest position of power in this state, could not keep the power flowing to the people that he was supposed to serve. In the energy capital of America, our fellow Texans, by the hundreds, froze to death in their homes. And an 11-year-old boy in Conroe, Texas, his mom unable to pile enough blankets on his body, he died the next day right here in this state in the year of our Lord 2021. And while that was happening, Greg Abbott's buddies, his biggest campaign contributors, were able to make billions of dollars in illegal profits, spending our utility bills through the roof, some of the highest anywhere in the country, on average up more than $45 a month. And the kicker, this grid is still not fixed. We're still not ready for this next winter, but we have an answer for that one as well. We win this election. We weatherize the grid. We connect our grid to the national grid so we can pull down power when we need it. And for those who stole this $11 billion from us, we take those bastards to court and get every penny back for the people of Texas. Last number I want to give you, and that's 8. 8 years that Greg Abbott has been in this office. Whatever he tries to distract you with by blaming it on AOC or President Biden or Chris or me or anyone else, it's his desk where the buck stops. Republicans have had every major lever of power in this state for more than 2 decades. And here are the results. Look, he's going to try to scare you about violent crime and defunding the police in our communities. Let me say this. We believe in funding the police, making sure they have the resources they need, they're paid their true worth, but we also believe we should fund their training so that they treat every single one of us the same under the law. We believe in justice and accountability when an officer abuses that position of public trust and that power of life and death over our fellow citizens. There must be accountability and justice, because without it, we will not have safety and security. That's what we believe. But let me tell you what Greg Abbott has done. Violent crime, including homicides, up 50% over the last 8 years on his watch, because he turned his back on cops who begged him not to sign that permitless carry bill into law. And the governor, who, when asked by a reporter why there was no exception for rape in his abortion ban bill, replied, "Don't worry about it. We're going to eliminate rape in the state of Texas." Not only has he not eliminated rape in the state of Texas, more rapes have been committed in the state of Texas than any other part of America. And that is because there are more than 3,000 untested rape kits at DPS headquarters right now. He does not care about the life of the mother or any woman. This is not about life at all. It is about control and power over the people in this state. In fact, rapists today in Texas have more rights than their victims. They can sue anyone who assists anybody else that they have raped in getting an abortion and recover $10,000 as a bounty. And on this issue of funding, the Uvalde Police Department 7 years ago requested funding for their radios because when those officers were inside of buildings like elementary school buildings, those radios did not work. They couldn't receive a signal from outside. 7 years ago, Greg Abbott refused to fund the police in Uvalde. When they repeated the request 6 years ago, he refused to fund them. 5, 4, 3, 2. On May 24th, 2022, those officers were inside of Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. Their radios did not work. They never received the dispatch from 911, letting them know that there were still kids alive, teachers whose lives could have been saved. If you want to talk about defunding, Greg Abbott has defunded the police in Texas and cost the lives of children in that community. We need to win this election for the lives of those kids in every single part of Texas going forward. Y por el último, let me say this. There are a lot of distractions and deflections that he's going to employ. You ask him about the grid, and he's going to tell us to worry about critical race theory and make us afraid of our own stories and our history, and for teachers to be able to tell the truth and share the facts. He might try to scare you about transgender kids and put a target on the backs of their parents and take those kids away from those loving homes and turn them over to Child Protective Services, the worst run foster care program in the United States of America, bar none. But I'll tell you who he's trained his focus on now. You ask him why teachers are leaving the profession by the thousands, if not tens of thousands. He'll try to distract us and deflect it by pointing at the border and telling us to be afraid of those who want to come to this country to do better for themselves and by extension do better for every single one of us. And listen, those of us in El Paso know the logical conclusion of this rhetoric. On the eve of August 3rd, 2019, Greg Abbott, our current governor, said about this so-called invasion at our border that Texans must take matters into their own hands and they must defend themselves. A young man who lives not too far from here in Allen, Texas, purchased an AK-47, drove it 650 miles to my hometown, posted online that he had come to repel the invasion of Hispanics that he had been warned about in this state, and proceeded to walk into that Walmart and murder 23 people in a community that doesn't lose 20 people a year because it is so peaceful, not despite, but because it is a city of immigrants who make us stronger and more successful and safer by their very presence. So I submit to you this. Instead of stunts like busing migrants or this hateful rhetoric that tries to incite fear and violence, what if we come to the table with solutions? We say this: if you want to come to this country, you must follow the law. And on our side, we believe that our laws must follow our values and our needs, our economic interests, and the reality right here in Tarrant County and in Arlington. I mean, look around you. We are so damn fortunate that we have so many people from the planet over who have chosen this country. And as my former colleague and all-time hero, John Lewis, would say, each of us came here in a different ship, but today we're in the same boat. Some of your families came here 15,000, 10,000 years ago. A reminder that today we are standing on indigenous land in the state of Texas. Others were brought here in bondage, kidnapped literally on another continent, and brought here by force to build the success and wealth in which they would never be able to partake. Others fleeing famine or certain death in their homelands. For the O'Rourke's, that was Ireland. To stay in that country in the 19th century meant to die there with their kids, so they came to this country, the one place that would take them in. When you read the story about those 53 human beings who they found dead in the back of a trailer, Think about the fact that they had just made a 2,000-mile journey to this country, not to steal anybody's job or their place in school or benefits that they otherwise would not be entitled to. They come to this country to survive and to make sure that their kids can live. So what if we did this? What if we said, if you come here, there will be a safe, legal, orderly path to claim asylum, to join family, or to work a job, especially a job that no one else in this state will work. We want to make sure that for those who are coming here for legitimate reasons, there's a legal, safe path to do that. Anyone else who seeks to do us harm, I want to make sure that we are vigilant against them. And if we have solutions, we'll be so much more successful at stopping fentanyl or human smugglers. We, the people of Texas, are the defining immigrant story, the border state. We are proud of our people, and that will be reflected in the leadership that we provide this country. So what do you think about winning this election and getting these things done for the people of Texas? All that we have to do. Thank you. All that we have to do is all that we can with what we have, where we are right now. There is no other way to win this election but through the people who've assembled here on this evening. You didn't come here for the candidate or the political party. You came for the future of this state. You came for those who are not old enough to vote, and the only voice and say that they get in this election is through the actions that we take right now. Think about this. This democracy that I keep talking about, that Chris has fought so valiantly for, did not just arise out of nothing. It was fought for by those who preceded us. Men and women who wore the uniform of this country in World War II, fighting fascism half a world away to save democracy here at home. Civil rights and voting rights marchers who put their lives on the line and too often lost them so that we could create the true multiracial democracy that we are about to lose right now. This is our inheritance, and we either win it back or we squander it forever. So let us count ourselves lucky to be alive at this moment and to have the chance to fight for everything that matters and makes us the greatest state in the union. Let's go out and win this election, sign up with one of our volunteers, and let's get it done. Thank you, UTA. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Les agradezco. Muchísimas gracias.
If you all want to stay and take a picture, we're going to be up on stage. You'll go to the right side, get in line, and we will stay and take a picture with everybody. We won't. So if you want to.